shortly after the Google Pixel was announced back in October of last year, I posted a rant video on my channel about this phone, but I stated it'd be the phone I'd end the year using as my daily driver. And the reason I said this was despite what it lacked, it still packed a very enjoyable user experience that I just couldn't seem to tear myself away from. But it's been a little over 7 months that this phone has been out, and during that time, a handful of other flagships have been released. So how well has the Pixel aged, and is it low-key still the best Android phone out right now? Since October, we've gotten the OnePlus 3T, the LG G6, and the Galaxy S8 just to name a few, and I've used each of these phones quite extensively. The 3T has the speed, the quickness, and the bang for your buck factor. The G6 and the S8 have flashy designs with little to no bezels and loaded spec sheets. And even before the G6 and S8 were released, I often switched between the 3T and the S7 Edge. But no matter what phone I used, I always came back to the Pixel XL. It doesn't have fancy looks, and there's really no wow factor here, but this is something we were talking about when the phone came out. And you'd think it's gotten worse with more futuristic phones now on the loose. It does have thick side bezels and that large empty chin, but as time went on, the boring design just began to fade and I didn't really mind it as much. What I do mind is the phone being quite slippery and the back glass panel is easy to scratch, so of course I applied a dbrand skin to mine. The Pixel also lacks things like stereo speakers, expandable storage, wireless charging, and most importantly, water resistance. So why in the world do I keep coming back to this phone? Well, firstly, it's the software. Google did a fantastic job optimizing Android to work as smoothly as possible with this hardware. Not to mention, it'll get the latest versions of Android before any other phone. As of now, the Pixel still has the most fluid and the most consistent user experience I've seen on an Android phone. I haven't performed a factory reset, I haven't had to purposefully reboot the phone, and it's been through well over 350 app installs. Yet it keeps chugging along, no sweat. Battery life has also been very solid, and while it may not be as reliable as the iPhone 7 Pluses or the Galaxy S8 Pluses, it still performs admirably, and it's better than what I get on the G6, and it's right on par with what I get on the 3T thanks to certain software updates, and I know exactly what I can get out of it during daily usage. Speaking of daily usage, overall performance has remained very good. While the Pixel isn't as quick and it may not load apps as fast as many of the other top phones out there, it still holds its own. Playing games and jumping between applications is as smooth as ever. And this is where the S8 let me down a bit. Stutters and hiccups are already present, but I guess I should have seen that coming. Just because the S8 is the newer phone and it has the latest and greatest Snapdragon 835, that doesn't mean a whole lot when the much older Pixel is still straight butter. If you told me, back before the S8 was released, that I'd continue using the Pixel as my main phone after having used both the S8 and S8 Plus, I'd say you're crazy. But nope, it's true. I could have sworn the S8, the S8 Plus in particular, would steal my heart, and for a short period of time it did, with its incredibly gorgeous display, water resistance, wireless charging, expandable storage, and all that good stuff, but the honeymoon phase didn't last, and I found myself popping my SIM card back into the Pixel. Now I think the biggest reason I still use the Pixel is because of its set of cameras. I've taken some of my favorite shots using this phone, both selfies and regular rear-facing camera shots, and although I don't take video that often, when I do, results are also very satisfying. Now of course the camera isn't the fastest thing out there, it does take a couple of seconds to process when shooting with HDR+, it also doesn't have OIS, and occasionally I'll get those weird light flares. But regardless, if I'm going somewhere where I know pictures will need to be taken, the Pixel is the phone I use. So while the Pixel isn't here to wow you with design, it isn't looking to grab you with a stacked spec sheet, it still delivers the best Android experience out there. With its software, sharp and colorful screen, its comfortably placed fingerprint reader, excellent cameras, solid performance, and good battery life, it really shows what's most important to me when using a smartphone. The Pixel XL is still one of the best smartphones out there, period, even though it is quite pricey. Now to be honest, it'd be quite silly of me to recommend picking up a Pixel right now. Google only had a short amount of time to put this phone together, which means if they can make this great of a phone in a short amount of time, that makes the second generation look very, very intriguing. So what do you guys think of the Google Pixel as of right now? Could it possibly still be the best Android phone out right now? Let us know your thoughts down below in the comments, and if you have Google Pixel, also let us know what your experience has been with the phone and how well it's fared over the time that you've had it. We'd love to hear your feedback. But anyway, that does it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to hit that like button, subscribe to the Android Police channel if you haven't already. That does it for me. I'll talk to you guys later, and thanks for watching.